Hi and welcome to another episode of the Evolution channel. My name is Johan Landgren and today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite little gadgets I think everyone with a smartphone should have at home or when you're on the move. I'm also going to talk about why it's vital to have a robust radio in terms of emergency readiness. Last week I was interviewed in one of the major television channels here in Sweden regarding a strange occurrence in the Stockholm area where the emergency alert system was sending out signals unintended. This created havoc for the 911 operators in the Stockholm area when a lot of Swedes were calling in wondering what was going on. This emergency alert system is intended only for toxic fires, natural catastrophes or even war. One of the many questions I received from the journalist was what you can do as a person, as a company or as a family to create more resilience in terms of emergency readiness. My obvious answer was to think about communication. And one of my examples was the importance of having a robust and redundant radio, like this one. But as you can see, I have three little gadgets with me today. On my left, I have the Xstorm solar power charger, which I will talk about briefly. And on my right, I have a classic little radio, a Denver, in this case, a Denver TWR 803, which I also will talk about briefly. But the main focus on this program will be on a very robust multi-purpose radio called the SOULRA or ETON FRX4. And this little radio is an all-weather, all-purpose radio with a lot of functions I think can come in handy in many different situations for people on the move and people at home. So why did I get this radio? Well, about 2 years ago, one of the biggest wildfires in Sweden's history occurred here in the central parts of Sweden. Fortunately for me and my family, it was more than 100 kilometers from where we live. But the ashes and the smoke spread all around and basically we couldn't go out for 2 days. During that time we thought deeply about how vulnerable we become to different types of crises and how vital it is to have constant access to information on what's going on. And let's say we didn't have access to electricity during that time. We wouldn't be able to watch television or listen to a regular radio. And after that, well, the result of that was that we got this radio. So, let's take a closer look at the SOULRA or ETON FRX4 all-weather, all-purpose radio. The first thing I noticed with this radio is that it's really lightweight. You can easily bring it with you in a small handbag or backpack. If you're going on your daily commute, camping, climbing, or why not to the beach? Because this radio is really robust. It can easily take wind, snow, humidity and water and according to the manufacturer even a drop of up to 1 meter from the ground. But why I really like this radio is in terms of its redundancy. There are actually 4 ways to keep this radio running. If we start by looking on the front, we'll find the hand crank. And by cranking the hand crank like this for about 4 minutes, you'll get about 1 minute of charging time on your smartphone, or 10 to 15 minutes of radio time. The second way to charge this radio is by opening the lid here on the top, and here you'll find a micro USB jack where you can connect to your regular phone adapter. And you'll also find a headphone jack and a regular USB port which you can charge your phone with. The third way to charge this radio is by opening the AAA compartment here. And you can do this by using a coin, for example, and add 3 AAA batteries. The fourth and last way to charge your radio is by simply placing it in the sun, because on the back you'll find the solar panels. The solar panels will charge your radio in about 5 to 6 hours in the sun, or about 50% of your smartphone with the inbuilt 1000 milliamp hours battery. But the radio comes with many clever features. If we look on the top here, we'll find the LED lights, which you can turn on by pressing here. But if you double click on the same button, you'll start the emergency red beacon, which is the SOS signal. And here you also find the antenna, which is about 2.5 decimeters or 25 centimeters long. So let's return to the front of the radio. Here you'll find the speakers, the tuning buttons, and the volume buttons. And if you look just below the display, we'll find the band button. And here you can switch between the AM or FM frequencies, but you can also activate the weather alert system, which means that if you locate the NOAA weather alert system in the US, it can automatically switch on if there is a hurricane or some major weather event. So that's a really great feature as well. So how does this radio sound then? Let's turn it on. Here we can listen to the Swedish radio and the weather forecast for today. As you can hear, I think the speaker is quite okay. You can also use this radio as an alarm clock, but I have to warn you, it's really, really, really loud. But it works really well to get you up in the mornings. But you can also use it as a regular clock just beside the bed. So, all in all, I think the FRX4 has a lot of cool features and can be really practical in your daily life, as well as be a vital resource in terms of emergency readiness. So, from a solar-powered radio to a solar-powered charger. Why do I add this to the team? Well, as I mentioned before, the solar-powered radio can only charge about 50% of your smartphone, and it's primarily meant to be used as a radio and to be charged in different ways to keep the radio running. And of course, it can be used to charge your smartphone when you really need it. But if you want to charge your phone fully or several times, you need something else. So that's why I brought this one along. The solar powered charger, the Lava Xstorm in this case, has 4000 milliamp hours of storage capacity. This means it has 4 times the storage capacity of the solar power radio, and is only meant to be used as a charging device. And this solar powered charger has 2 ways of charging your smartphones at the same time. You can actually charge 2 smartphones at the same time. You just use this micro USB cable connected to your phone, or you open up down here and add your USB cable to your phone and charge a second device, or even a third smartphone over here. If you place this solar charger in the sun, it will be charged in about 7 to 8 hours. So this is a great complement to have at home. This solar powered charger is also a great thing to have with you if you're going on a trip. Because if you don't know if you're going to have access to power, you can easily charge your phone at least 2 times with this device. Finally, I'm just very briefly going to show you a classic little radio. This is a Denver TWR 803. There are many different versions of this, different models. But what's really great with this, that it's very cheap. You can get this for about $10 or something, and you can get this on many places. And it's a fully functional radio. I mean, the sound is quite okay. The antenna is, I mean, it's amazing. It's really, maybe it's 40 centimeters long, and the reception is quite okay. And as long as you take care of this radio, I mean, if you have it on your daily trip or going to the beach or whatever, you need, of course, to protect it. I mean, it's not a robust radio like the FRX4 in that way. It won't take humidity and rain, of course, and sand. I don't think that's. I mean, in the long run, it won't be a great thing on the beach unless you have something to protect it. I mean, if you have a plastic bag with you, you wrap it in the towel or whatever, it will last a long time, I think. And you can easily, I mean, you can just put in AAA battery, 2 of them actually, in here, and it lasts quite long. So just to add to the other devices, we should never forget that these small things, these classic small radios, are a really great tool as well, because as long as you have batteries, you have redundancy, and you can listen to music, and yeah, it's a great thing to have as well. So never forget these small things. They are also a great tool. In the next episode of the Evolution channel, I will give my thoughts about the electrification and automation of the transport system and why I think this will happen much faster than people think. I will talk about Tesla, Volvo, and the potential of a gigafactory here in Sweden, which is considered now by the Northvolt company. Thanks for watching the Evolution channel. If you have any ideas or questions, please comment below, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel and want to have the latest updates. Finally, don't forget, your smartphone is not very smart unless you can recharge it.